So Keir Starmer announced yesterday that he would resign as leader of the Labour Party if he received a fine for breaking COVID rules. He insists he didn't do so. It's a gamble. Will it pay off? Kevin Maguire, the associate editor from the Daily Mirror, joins us now. Good to see you, Kevin.
And you, Gloria.
So Starmer said he would quit if the police fine him. Some say it's a politician with integrity. Others say it's the politician who's putting Durham police under unfair political pressure to exonerate him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think on the question of putting the police under unfair pressure, or what about the Conservative MP Richard Holden who wrote wanting an inquiry? What about the cabinet ministers demanding an inquiry? What about the Daily Mail demanding an inquiry? Have they all put Durham police under unfair pressure? I don't think so. I don't find that actually washes. I think the police can be pretty independent, as the Prime Minister found out in London. The question of integrity and honour, I think it's part principle, it's part pragmatic, because there is no doubt that if Keir Starmer was investigated, found to have breached the laws and been fined, he would have been under intense pressure to step down as Labour leader after he made such a great cause of the Prime Minister being fined. And it equally applies to Angela Rayner, because she too has said the Prime Minister should resign. But at the same time, it is quite refreshing to see a politician put their career on the line, because he can't be absolutely certain that he'll be cleared. I believe he will be. I've looked at the law and the rules and the activities. It's very different to a birthday cake and the interior decorator being present in Downing Street to celebrate the Prime Minister's birthday. But he has taken a chance. And if he is cleared, his position is going to be contrasted very sharply to that of the Prime Minister, who's the first in office to actually be found to have broken the law, and he clings on number 10, despite the fact that a minority of Tory MPs think he should go.
There are those that point out that both Boris Johnson and Keir Starmer both said they took a break from work to eat and drink and then both went back to work. If they are equals, then he could get a fine, couldn't he?
Yeah, well, the events would have to be equal under the same laws. I don't think they are, because yes, you can see people eating curry. There he is swigging his famous bottle of beer. Mary Foy, the local MP, is there, the bottom left, in that video taken by students who were next to the Miners' Hall in Durham. But at the time, there was a specific exclusion for campaigning, and also if you were going to work, and eating was reasonably necessary because of the hours you were keeping, you could eat like that. While the Prime Ministers, at least some of them, of course, the Met are investigating a dozen parties in Downing Street, 6 of them of which the Prime Minister is believed to have attended. Some of those may be found to have been legit, but we know at least 2 now weren't. They broke the law, and one of them included the fine for the Prime Minister. So the events may not be the same, which is why the outcomes be made different. Some people have made up their mind already on both sides of this argument, and it's got to be said that for Starmer's opponents, he could give a kidney to save a life, and people would accuse him of being selfish for keeping the other one to himself. He's taken a pretty principled, brave position here. We don't see many of those in politics, do we, Gloria? You'll know that.
I did see you tweet the point about the kidney point this morning. It did make me smile. I've been going through lots of your tweets, in fact, this morning. Lots of people think today, the Queen's Speech Day, is a wonderful day where we show off what only Britain can do, the pomp, the ceremony. I don't think you're a fan.
No, I'm not. I think it's a load of nonsense. I mean, you've got a hereditary prince in a Ruritanian fancy dress jacket, sitting on a golden throne in the unelected chamber in Parliament, announcing what the government's going to do for Britain. I mean, it looks ridiculous, I think, to the rest of the world. Look, we're a modern democracy. We're not Disney World. I mean, that's why I think it is utterly crazy. No, I'm no royalist. I'm a Republican, but I've got to say, I think Prince Andrew and Prince Harry are doing far more to destroy the royal family than the likes of me will going to ever be able to do. It's been destroyed from the inside.
Interesting. In terms of the content of that speech, I mean, there's plenty that will please voters, tough on disruptive protesters, making more of Brexit opportunities, levelling up the country. It could be a reset moment for the government, couldn't it?
Yeah, possibly, but does it really address the cost of living crisis, which is the major political issue and economic issue for most families? It doesn't really. And then you have to go through the proposals. I think levelling up is still mainly a slogan. You look at the banning the right of protest, or some people to protest. Now, of course, Extinction Rebellion and Insulated Britain are very unpopular at the moment, but if you ban them, you might ban your own protest if you're going to have an incinerator or a waste tip built next to you, so it can apply to you. So you can ban what you don't like, but it can boomerang and ban what you would like to protest against. So there's going to be pretty tricky. I think it's more notable, actually, for what it lacks, that speech. For instance, if you're an animal rights campaigner, where is that ban on foie gras and fur imports, which Brexit was said to be making possible? There is no employment bill to strengthen workers' rights in the UK, which are still weak by industrial standards. So I didn't get a real sense of a buzz around it. I think it felt more like a prime minister who isn't quite sure where he's going at the moment, but the cost of living is a big issue. It doesn't really address that. Now, you could argue, Gloria, it wasn't really intended to, but the fact is it just hasn't got that fizz, that pizzazz. Is it really going to transform Britain, make people's lives appreciably better?